Yeah, what up? It's Tone Space. Now check this out. Tekashi 6ix9ine is caught up in another scandal with a young woman who allegedly he slept with about a year ago. She had some money issues and she's trying to blow up the spot somewhat. Something down in Miami in Florida. She was 16 at the time, currently is 17. And as I understand, she was of legal age because a 16-year-old could be with a 23-year-old. Everything's gravy as opposed to in the sight of the law. However, of course, that'll make Tekashi 6ix9ine only look more suspect ever since having to plead out to some type of charges, whatever was going on with him and the 13-year-old girl some years ago, whether it was sexual assault, groping, or whatever, the main part of that charge was, right? So the crux of this video isn't really Tekashi 6ix9ine's little scandal, because like I said, there's going to be no legal ramifications to that, because even though 16 is still a young girl in Miami, it's considered age of consent in proximity of the distance between his age and her age, right? But I was watching a video that showed this situation, and some things just stood out to me that was just crazy. Now, if you can see on this side of the screen, this is the young lady. You can see she has a short haircut. 17 years old now, and she also described herself as tall, at least tall in comparison to other people that were in a particular video that I'm gonna get into, that she was trying to tell 6ix9ine's people about so they could know who she was. So I get the impression that she's somewhat tall, and I'm gonna show you how all this shit connects, right? Now, this is what stood out to me, right? I'm gonna take a picture off the screen and put something else up on here, right? Okay, as you see now on the screen, we have a text message conversation. Shorty is in the white, the young girl, and one of 6ix9ine's people is below in the blue, responded. Now the woman says, I have all the videos from that trip. Call me because I'm desperate, and I'm not trying to be on some hot boy shit. But desperate is desperate. Never mind. You see my messages and aren't responding, so I'm gonna be a hot boy now. And one of 6ix9ine's people replies, laugh out loud, how you trying to blackmail me because I can't help you? You sound crazy, dude. Gender has officially been bent. We're in a gender-bending society and culture. Now, as I told you before, the woman considers herself tall, at least in comparison to other people in a particular video that she sent the guy in the blue text, so she, so he could recognize who she was, who was trying to like jam homeboy up and, be on a hot boy shit or whatever the fuck she's trying to do. Now, 6ix9ine is about 5'6". So we have a tall woman, a tall young girl, right? Tall 17, tall near young adult. Now, for a woman is 5'6" tall, that's probably about average height. Tekashi 6ix9ine is absolutely on the short side when it comes to men. I'm guessing that she's taller than 6ix9ine, right? Even back then, when she was 16, she probably had a growth spurt and is significantly taller than him now. Who knows, right? This young lady, as you saw, had a short haircut. More commonly, men to have short haircut. Meanwhile, the gentleman that she allegedly slept with, Tekashi 6ix9ine, not only has long hair, but has long, colorful hair. As you can see in the image above, doing this little pose with the flag. You see the other cats above me on their funny style looking shit, whatever. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example of what I consider us being in a very gender-bent, gender-confused society. Now in this text message, you have this young girl herself, this young woman, saying that she is going to be on some hot boy shit. And the guy that replies to her calls her a dude. Now these might be like little small minute examples, but all these small intimate details and these things that we just casually say to each other and everything, it all contributes to the big agenda to confuse gender, to confuse man, woman, blur the lines. You may be familiar of the Baphomet, which a lot of this satanic order that runs the media. What the Baphomet is an image that represents gender fluidity, as they're now calling it, right? Neither male nor female. It's a goat with titties and other shit going on that men would have, stuff like that. So that's what stood out to me of this video. Young, tall lady, short man-like haircut, calling herself a dude. I mean, calling herself a hot boy, saying she about to be a hot boy. A dude replies and says, dude, you want some whatever shit. And she allegedly had sex with a shorter dude than her, with not only long hair, but long, colorful hair. I mean, I know I got long hair, but the beard neutralizes it, so I ain't worry about that. But the point I'm making is our society right now is just gender bent. Probability says that this young girl, this young lady, is a bisexual. Why do I say that? Because about 7 out of 10 young women, young adults that have been coming up in our, recent years or whatever, are on that bisexual shit. And it's all cool. Nobody has a problem with it. It's considered the norm. If you have a young girl, that 3 out of 10 that's not on it like that, they probably thinking that they weird. You know what I'm saying? Young men coming out on some gay stuff and everything, that's considered cool. Now, granted, I'm not saying that Tekashi 6ix9ine is gay. I particularly believe that he is not. Yet at the same time, I got a terrible gaydar, because I have a philosophy that says it goes along with the old adage, it takes one to know one. And I'm so far removed from any type of gay personality or any interest in men, where I'm like the last man that could see that or visualize that in another man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so much just not in that ballpark, not in that dimension. But in general, I'm gonna still give the young man Tekashi the benefit of the doubt and say that he's a heterosexual man. But in all actuality, that further cements the point that I'm trying to make. Because the point that I'm trying to make is it is the heterosexuals that are adapting a lot of feminine ways, a lot of feminine traits, a lot of feminine behavior. I've seen this young man Tekashi flick his hair in the videos. If you've seen any videos covering him, you might see GIF images and stuff that show him with the woman filters, with the bunny ears and the nose and all that shit. Now, if he was gay, it will probably be a lot more smooth, because it's like, all right, you're adapting to this feminine thing because that's part of your personality. You have a woman inside of you. But shit, if he's not gay, if he's a straight up heterosexual and doing that, do you see how that is more worse? Because then it's like it's normalizing it, for a heterosexual to adapt feminine behavior like it's the norm. It's kind of like saying, well, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Because this dude's what, 22, 23? He's grown up in the, the tighter pant era. 2 earrings in the ears. Well, that's a throwback. I mean, ever since it was considered okay for men to wear an earring in both ears, I wasn't having it. My ears are not pierced. I never had any intention of getting them pierced. Basically, I'm stuck on that era. I'm stuck on the years back, decades back, where you couldn't even have both your ears pierced. Now, granted, I'm not saying that folks that do that is gay. I'm just telling you how different or how traditional I am when it comes to stuff like that. I grew up, I had an older cousin. He told me, yo, you got to wear your watch on your left wrist, not your right wrist. He literally said, that's faggot shit. And ever since then, I've never had a watch on my right wrist again. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crux of what I want to say. And this all comes down from the big entertainment business, from the big media, which trickles up to higher corporations and businesses, which trickle or work itself way more up to the so-called elites that control and run this world. And if you've read anything or you've heard about anything, you would understand that they do have an agenda to decrease population. What's a great way to decrease population is for man and woman not to do as God intended us to do, and that's be fruitful and multiply. And if you have this gender fluidity thing going on, where you don't know if you're a man or a woman, or now it's cool for a woman to rock with a woman exclusively, and a man could feel more bold and try to push the homosexuality into everyone's faces and start at young ages with the children and get them on that program before they're old enough to even know what they are. 6, 7 years old, you have them in school, in kindergarten, first grade and stuff, reading books about my 2 mommies, and they even have like certain picture books with sexually explicit graphic things. You have parents now that are allowed to put on the birth certificate gender X, literally give that newborn baby not even a chance, because before that baby even knows, what is beyond the hospital room of what its eyes saw after he came out his mother, he's already not even a female or a male, or she's already not a female or a male. It's literally in it. You know how people call babies an it? Oh, look at it. Well, now it's an it, because you can't call that baby a boy, you can't call that baby a girl. It's it's gender X. Whew. So that's what I found crazy about this right here. That whole text conversation, the phenotypical look of the tall woman and the phenotypical look of the short man. So yeah, that's crazy. And I would like to do a live show on this at some point, because I'm not really a big fan of doing shows yapping my mouth off about issues and stuff, because it's a great tool, it's a great way to vent, but I'm more geared to solutions. So anyone that's watching this, if you resonate with whatever I'm saying, please feel free in the comment section, offer up solutions. Sure, if you want to rant about it and just agree, or rant about it and disagree, you could do that too, or contest my view and bring some counterpoints in. I urge and I encourage that as well. But primarily, I also would like some people to offer up any solutions that you may have, that we can fight this agenda to bend our gender, because it's already done. We want to straighten this shit back out, real talk. And I'm not trying to speak against the whole gay movement and all that, the LBGQ, whatever acronyms they have for all that stuff like that. I'm just saying that it's rather imposing. It's being superimposed onto our psyche, into our diet, to change our genes and feed us that estrogen to make us more feminine and stuff like that. It's fused into the medical system, where they provide the hormones and the surgery for people to just change their thing up. There was another story that I want to talk about if I do a live show as well, about a 17-year-old girl whose parents got in trouble because this 17-year-old girl, I guess she wanted to take hormones that would make her more like a dude. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be a transsexual or whatever. And at age 17, her high school, offered those hormone pills. They're offering these pills to high school students, to people that's not even old enough to vote yet, or to drink yet. You know what I'm saying? And by this girl's parent, or parents, I don't know if it was one or both, by that parental figure objecting to this, they got in trouble. It escapes my mind whether they got arrested or something to that caliber. I think it was somewhere along the lines of them trying to remove their daughter from that parent's custody. Why? Because that parent was not with their daughter taking hormones that are gonna confuse her gender, or turn her into a transsexual, or help her along that route. You know what I'm saying? I guess young girl. And hey, I don't knock the people that feel this way. Like that young woman that wants the hormones, 17-year-old girl, she might not have had a chance of any other way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, they put stuff in your diet that confuses your gender. There's been studies, there's books of how they literally change penises to vaginas, change vaginas to penises with certain hormones and things. They test them in lab rats, and then they put that crap in our food. And as I said, it all trickles down from the so-called elites, in my opinion, to reduce population. You know what I'm saying? Definitely to confuse population. And I also believe it's to get us away from God. They want us obeying and praying to their God, the Baphomet, the androgynous figure. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, if you'd like to see me do a live on this, feel free to sound off in the comment section. And as I said before, if you could think of any solutions because these kids are gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? You parents out there, y'all gonna need that for your children. Let's say you have kids that are about to hit high school, that's about to hit the public school system. That public school system is now weaponized against your child if you're not for this, you know, for this Bati boy shit. Real talk. I'm just gonna say it like it is. So yeah, if y'all got any solutions, feel free to sound off, and let's get a live show about this soon. Peace.